Welcome to an art experiment. Today we're going to be making flowers called lupines, and we're going to read one of my most special books first, Miss Rumphius. Let's listen. Miss Rumphius, story and pictures by Barbara Cooney. To Saint Nicholas, patron saint of children, sailors, and maidens. The lupine lady lives in a small house overlooking the sea, in between the rocks. Once upon a time, she was a little girl named Alice, who lived in a city by the sea. From the front stoop, she could see the wharves and the bristling masts of tall ships. Many years ago, for Alice's grandfather was an artist. He painted pictures, too, of sailing ships and places across the sea. When he was very busy, Alice helped him put in skies. In the evening, Alice sat on her grandfather's knee and listened to his stories of faraway places. When he finished, Alice would say, "When I grow up, I too will go to faraway places, and when I grow old, I too will live beside the sea." "That is all very well, little Alice," said her grandfather, "but there is a third thing you must do." "What is that?" asked Alice. "You must do something to make the world more beautiful," said her grandfather. "All right," said Alice, but she did not know what that could be. In the meantime, then my great Aunt Alice set out to do the three things she had told her grandfather she was going to do. She left home and went to live in another city, far from the sea and the salt air. There she worked in a library, dusting books, and sometimes she went to the conservatory in the middle of the park. "This is almost like a tropical isle," said Miss Rumphius, but not quite. Pets. She walked on long beaches, picking up beautiful shells. Alice, one day, Rumphius climbed tall mountains where the snow never melted. She went through jungles and across deserts. She saw lions playing and kangaroos jumping, and everywhere she made friends she would never forget. Finally, she came to the land of the lotus eaters, and there, getting off a camel, she hurt her back. "What a foolish thing to do," said Miss Rumphius. "Well, I have certainly seen faraway places. Maybe it is time to find my place by the sea." And it was, and she did. From the porch of her new house, Miss Rumphius watched the sun come up. She watched it cross the heavens and sparkle on the water, happy. "But there is still one more thing I have to do," she said. "I have to do something to make the world more beautiful." "But what?" have helped the world? Then Miss Rumphius had a wonderful idea. She hurried home and got up. She scattered seeds along the highways and down the country lanes. She flung handfuls of them across the schoolhouse and the back of the church. She tossed them into hollows and along stone walls. Her back. The next spring, there were lupines everywhere. Fields and hillsides were covered with the blue and purple and rose-colored flowers. They bloomed. Miss Rumphius had done the third, the most difficult thing of all. My great Aunt Alice, Miss Rumphius, is very old now. Her hair is very white. In the world. Often she tells us stories of faraway places. "When I grow up," I tell her, "I too will go to faraway places and come home to live by the sea." "That is all very well, little Alice," says my aunt, "but there is a third thing you must do." "What is that?" I ask. "You must do something to make the world more beautiful." "All right," I say. But I do not know yet what that can be. The end. Do you love art experiments? Let's get to it. To make lupines, like in our book, we're going to need to make finger paints. So we're going to make our own today since we're not in school. I hope that you have some watercolors because we're going to use this to color our finger paints. So first, remember that Miss Rumphius planted seeds for lupins to make the world more beautiful. And we're going to have to see what colors they are. Do you see one color for lupins? Pink and blue. And when we mix pink and magenta, what color will we get? We will get purple. So I'm going to start with some pink and add blue to make our lupins. We'll start here and then I'll bring you over close when we make our picture on the paper. Okay, finger paint. We're going to start with some glue in our bowl. I'm going to make about the size of a coin, a little coin that you use to buy something. And I'm going to dust in some cornstarch. I'm going to say tap, 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 tap. And I have a little bit of cornstarch in my bowl. Let's mix up with a paintbrush. This will give us a nice white base for our paint. Okay, now I have just a little bit of white cream and let's add in magenta. My brush is full of glue. I'm going to rinse it off in the water. Keep my paper clean. And we're going to mix some magenta. Circle, circle, circle. We need lots of good color on our brush. Now we're close up to see how to finish our project. I'm going to use a permanent marker to make the stems for our lupins. Remember, they're very tall flowers. So I'll make 6 stems. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we're going to start with our finger paint. Here's my pink color. I'm going to add a little bit more pink, pink, pink. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Beautiful pink. My pointer finger for the bottom of the flower. My pinky finger for the top of the flower. Here I am. Here's my paint. Big, 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 big. I need nice big petals at the bottom of my flower. I'll make this one pink. Now I've finished the big blossoms. I'm going to use my pinky for the little blossoms at the top of my stem. Tippy tap, tippy tap, tippy tap, tippy tap. Beautiful lupins. They're very tall and very thin. I like pink, but now we need to make purple. I'm going to put a little bit more glue. We need more paint. Here's my glue. And here is my tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. And we will need pink and then blue. This blue, magenta, and blue make purple. There we are. I'm happy with that. I'm going to squeeze the paint out of my brush. There we are. And use my pointer finger for the bottom of the flowers. Beautiful. Let's go quick. Pink, purple, And some blue, just like in our book. Okay, to make my purple turn into blue, I'm just going to add more blue, lots of circles in our finger paint. And I'm ready for blue. Here we are. Watch me quick. And once I clean my fingers, our art experiment is finished. I hope that you loved lupines just like me. Goodbye.